Hey coaches, if you're coaching a basketball game and you come up against a team that is using a 2-3 zone and you just can't get in there to score, that's a problem. And I want to give you the solution today. I want to talk to you about the number one secret to dominate a 2-3 zone defense. And chances are you're probably just executing your offense wrong. Um, I used to tell my players, and I'm thinking back to like when my kids were in fourth grade, and the 2-3 zone was, that was a zone defense that was used because it was easy to teach and it was easy to execute. But I used to tell my kids, like, just get into the gaps of whatever zone it is. If there's not a player standing there, that's where I want you to stand. And it made all the difference, right? Fourth graders, it's tough for them to understand like what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. But if they knew, hey, I just got to stand in the spots where nobody's at, then I'll be open. And obviously, that's not the best answer, but it's a good first answer. So this video is, the secret to dominating the 2-3 zone. And really what I learned from coaching that age, and I carried it on all the way to high school, was in a 2-3 zone, just get the ball or get a player right here at the high post, right there in the middle. And I think we all know that in basketball, especially against a zone, when we get a person in the middle and we get the ball there, good things can happen. Now, of course, if we have somebody in that high post, these two players are going to play on that one a little bit more, or maybe one of them will. But what I would encourage my players to do is get in the gaps, right? So I would have a player here and here, and sometimes I would keep a point guard up here. So I would basically have them in the gaps and a player here, and then I would just either have a player running the baseline back and forth. Sometimes I would tell this player to just play in the short corners, because eventually something will open up. Especially for the younger kids, what you're going to see happen is you're going to see the defense start to play up because they're going to realize that the high post is open a lot. So, but if you'll take a look, if these two players are worried about that high post and the point guard, when the ball's here, this is when you put your three-point shooters in and you let them shoot. Now, of course, getting rebounds might be a little bit difficult, but if you get a kid that's on fire, it's going to be effective for you. And if they're not on fire, they can drive in and score here. And I'll work on a lot of, a lot of, jump shots from, real close to the rim, because, you'll get that. And I'll break down some drills for them. If they do a drive in and this player comes in, maybe they get stopped, they can dish here. This player can come up, post up here. They can bounce pass here. A lot of good things can happen. So the number one secret, if you want to dominate a 2-3 zone, is simply to get the players into the gaps. Get a player at the high post and work the ball around and have good solid passes and just reverse the ball. So if you get the ball here, reverse it quickly and you'll get open shots. You'll also get open gaps in the defense where you can get a quick layup or a quick shot off, or at least a drive to get the defense off-centered, and then use that short corner player who will be right underneath the basket. So that's what you got to do if you want to dominate the defense or a 2-3 zone. Just get the ball where the players aren't at. Put players where the defenders are not at. And it'll open up your gaps for you and allow you to do some crazy things. Practice this. Try this in practice. See how it works during a game. I am eager to hear about your comments on whether or not this works. I'm also eager to hear your thoughts on some things that you've learned.